Assuming something is non-negotiable, it also applies to work. Sometimes the deadlines with your boss are negotiable, right? Sometimes you just have to ask, boss, can you extend that timeline because I have something urgent that we are really doing. So assuming something is non-negotiable is something that most of us are guilty, right? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jeff. I'm so excited to be here from whatever part or wherever part of the world you are right now. Thank you for being here with me. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about the power of negotiation to win customers. So I'm going to try my very best to ensure that your time that will be spent here will be worthwhile, and I hope you get 1 to 2 learnings that you can bring back to your workplace. Now, let's start off with the context for the SMEs because Olern wants to help the SMEs. First one, let's think about cutthroat competition. We all know because of the digital age, the power of the buyers are higher than before. And you will notice that information now is at their fingertips. It means the buying power has so increased that the seller needs to do different ways in terms of selling. And then one of the ways is to exploit every opportunity from marketing, selling, to social media. Why not also in negotiating? In the next 28 minutes or so, I'm going to talk to you about how negotiation, one of the most undermined skill, can help your business and probably help you sell better or more to the customers. Then the third one that we're going to talk about is to find new ways and improve ways of doing things. So these are the contexts for the SMEs. Tougher competition, we need to exploit every opportunity, find new or improve ways of doing things. And all of the tactics from marketing, whatever it is, key account management, negotiation seems to be the most powerful skill because it has no cost in it. So we're going to talk about that. But before that, let's start with something positive. Did you know that you are at the right place at the right time? If you are in the Philippines and you want to start your business, or probably you are already in the business, you are in the right time at the right place. You know why? The Philippines is projected to be the 5th largest economy and the 16th largest in the world. 5th for Asia, 16th in the world by 2050. And did you know that the Philippine economy is growing by 6%, 6.1, next year 6.2. Then the consumption is increasing, inflation is stable. You know what? This is the best time to be in business. This is the best time to get rich. So we would like to invite you to start your own business. Have that sense of optimism. All right? That should be the first thing that should be in your mind right now. This is a good opportunity to get rich, right? Now, how does negotiation plays a role? Here's the good news. We're not just offering you as negotiation without any basis. Studies after studies has shown that negotiation has some positive effects in terms of improving sales management. So that's the first benefit that I would like for you to bring home later. And then number 2, did you know that negotiation remains to be the top 10 skills in 2020? Hindi po siya nawala in the list of top 10 together with complex problem solving, creative thinking. Negotiation remains to be on the top 10. Alright, so dalawa yan. It can improve the way you do things. Tatlo pala. It can improve the way you do things. Number 2, it's a critical skill. Number 3, it is proven to improve your sales management. So in the next 28 minutes, let's talk about negotiation. All right, here's an interesting fact from James Clear. He wrote a book. It's entitled Atomic Habits, and he says there, all big things come from small beginnings. There was a data there. That's a very interesting data. I'm going to explain to you carefully. He told the people there, according to his study, if the person can increase or improve by just 1% every day in what he does, did you know that after a year of doing that, of improving on a day-to-day basis, he can improve by 37 times. That's how impactful those tiny gains is. So just imagine, in the next 28 minutes, if you get 1 or 2 learnings and you go back to your workplace, you apply them, 1% this day, tomorrow another 1%, the following day another 1%. For 12 long months, you will be better by 37 times. All right, so here's the gift from Olern. So we have to thank this company, and I'm very thankful that I'm here today. The gift from Olern is for you to have this practical and actionable information about negotiation, the power of it, and then it's an additional tool to increase your revenue. And the final gift, I believe, since this is just a 30-minute training, I actually do one whole day training, but this 30 minutes can already serve as an inspiration for you to really start thinking and try to observe your people or yourself. How are you negotiating not only with the suppliers, but also with your customers? All right? So the gift is, what's the power? What's the power of negotiation to win customers? Number one, we all know this one. It is very important that the customers feel good about themselves. All right? So what do I mean by that? By opening up the negotiation process, you want to have that dialogue with them. You want to know what would they like about your product or your services. Now, I know there are some industries that are not open to negotiation. But you know what? If your company or your business is very open to negotiation, you can build better relationship with your customers. Later on, in the next few slides, I'm going to share with you some concrete examples. All right? Now, here's the roadmap. Since it's a 30 minutes talk, it will serve as an inspiration. The first part, we're going to talk about understanding negotiation and the mindset that you should possess in order to somehow be successful in the negotiating process. Number two, we're going to explore the difference between sales and the negotiation process. Most of the time, I've been in training for more than 10 years now, and I'm into business as well. I'm into a lot of negotiating. You know what? There's a lot of confusion between what is the difference between sales process and the negotiation process. Later on, I'm going to demystify that difference. All right? Number three. So some key negotiation principle and tactics. Again, since this is a 30-minute talk, I'm gonna give you one negotiation principle and one tactic. All right, that you can use back in your business. And then last, hopefully, the technology will allow us to share your learning, just 1 to 2. All right, let's go. Let's get it on. All right. Question. How excited are you to learn more about negotiation? I know there are some folks in the YouTube, FB, or whatever, wherever you are, please rate from 1 to 10. 10 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. How excited are you to learn more about negotiation? All right. Key in those numbers. Now, when we think of negotiation, am I right to say that the first thing that comes to our mind, hostage negotiation? The fact is, there are different types of negotiation. The number one is the law enforcement negotiation. But did you know that there also the negotiation in the setting of daily life? Let me explain to you that. In fact, I've been training that for a long time now, for more than 3 years now, negotiation in daily events. Meaning, did you know you can actually you can actually negotiate with your boss about the timelines, about the project, about your salary, with your kids. You can negotiate with them in terms of doing their chores. So actually, the one principle that I'm going to share with you here, the knowledge about negotiation is actually you can use and apply to every different setting of your life. All right? But for this 23 minutes, the context is in the selling situation. Clear so far? So what is negotiation? Let's demystify. Because you cannot negotiate if you don't know what is negotiation, right? So negotiation is about communicating effectively. It's about exploring common interests, needs, and difference, and trying to reach a mutual agreement. Now, let me ask for your openness here. Because sometimes, and most often, when people hear about negotiation, they always think about winning. Winning the discussion, winning, win, lose. Actually, that is a very, very narrow way of looking at negotiation. Negotiation is about exploring each and other's interests, trying to brainstorm, trying to come up with another alternative with the objective of reaching that mutual agreement. Why? Because it's long term. You don't wanna break that relationship with the other party. Let me just cite you this example. I held a negotiations training for one of the biggest newspaper company in the Philippines, and they were talking about they have a collective bargaining agreement. So they called me to talk to their leaders about negotiation. What would be the principles, the tactics, the approaches? So the HR told me, you know what, Jeff? The management actually just want to hand down what they would offer. So I said, oh my. So what do they need me for? Why are they inviting me? So anyway, I have to do my job. So I went there, gave a workshop about negotiation, and tried to open their mind that doing it hastily, not considering the other party, may be detrimental to the business. And guess what? After just 2 weeks, it's the earliest, it's the most, what do you call this? Siya yung pinakamaiksing negotiation between the employer and the employee for that newspaper company. It was a success. And it's because there was a value on really hearing the other party's opinion or the other party's interest before coming out with a mutual agreement. So that's the beauty of negotiation. Now just imagine if you can bring that to your customers, not just selling your products or services, but also trying to find out how can we better help them? What are their interests? Just imagine the long-term relationship that you can build with your customers. And not only that, you will be a source of word of mouth. It will be a source of word of mouth. They keep on raving about you, that you know how to listen, they like to work with you. That's how it is. I also came from corporate. We only negotiate with people who are flexible, who are willing to come up with a mutually beneficial agreement. All right? So that's negotiation. Try to have a shift in that paradigm. It's not only a win-loss. So what's the mistakes in negotiation? Number one, the lack of confidence. So when you lack confidence, you will not be able to communicate what you want. You would not be able to ask what the other party's interest, right? Lack of confidence. So we have to observe our employees. Do they have the right level of confidence whenever they talk to the suppliers or to our customers? Number two, assuming something is non-negotiable. It also applies to work. Sometimes the deadlines with your boss are negotiable, right? Sometimes you just have to ask boss, can you extend that timeline because I have something urgent that we are really doing. So assuming something is non-negotiable is something that most of us are guilty, right? Whenever someone offers, you offer, try to open up that negotiation space. Try to really listen and just take a consideration on the offer or what he's asking. So assume something is non-negotiable. Number 3, not building relationship first. Diba? If you don't have trust, you cannot somehow influence the other party. So you really need to build that relationship. In my training, I conduct a whole day training of negotiation. There, I give you tips on how to open, on how to welcome the other parties, what would be the psychological advantages that you can do, how you should ask, how you should close the negotiation. These are the things that can be trained and can be shared to your people in order to increase the level of effectiveness in terms of getting what you want. And the last is not asking, assuming probably that the last price is already the last price. The credit terms may be the last credit terms, or maybe the level of service is the last one. So if you fail on these 4 things, you're not exploiting the opportunity that negotiation can give your business. All right? So far, so good? Right? And then last, you're talking too much, not asking the other party. Now, what's the mindset? This is very important. Every time you go talk to a person to negotiate, to tell that person what you really like, you must have this kind of mindset. You have to be positive. First is to have that positive expectations. Just imagine, you're gonna talk to the person and you have negative expectations. What would happen? Right? It will be a very, very negative experience. But if you have positive expectations that you're gonna have this deal, you have positive expectations that somehow the other party would understand. From there, you will drive positive behaviors. What are these positive behaviors? You be more relaxed when talking to the other person. You be more attentive. You get to listen more because of you have expectations that you can convince the other party. And then if you have expectations, you have positive behaviors, then it will have increased chances of results. That's how it is. So whenever you are in the point of view of the supplier or the buyer, try to have that positive expectation because it will drive your positive behaviors. All right? So that's very important. A mindset of a negotiator must have that positive expectation.